everyone, welcome to my channel and my first video. This channel is going to be all about trying new foods and cooking different recipes for the first time. So if you're interested in that kind of content and following my cooking journey, please don't forget to subscribe. So for today's video, we'll be making some lasagna. I will be using a recipe that I found off of delish.com, and I'm also going to pull a little bit from this other website. It's called Damn Delicious. So first ingredient, obviously, lasagna noodles. First step in the recipe is cooking the pasta. So I'm going to be taking 9 pasta noodles and cooking it until it's al dente. Usually it tells you on the box. So I'll be boiling this for 8 minutes in a pot. I'm going to boil water for a few minutes until it boils. I like using the filtered water. I'm sure everyone, I don't know what everyone likes to do, but I like using filtered water. I'll be boiling this water for a little while, and then I'll stick the noodles in there to boil for 8 minutes. So I had the water boiling for a few minutes. It wasn't really boiling yet, but I just decided to just stick the noodles in there. This is the biggest pot that I have. Speaking of pot, shout out to Oz for gifting me some pots and pans for my housewarming because I recently moved to LA. But thank you, Oz. But I started putting in the 9 pieces of lasagna noodles into the pot. If you have a bigger pot, I guess that would be easier because these are kind of big. With spaghetti, it's kind of different because my mom would break it, and just stick it in there, but I can't break this. I don't think so. Hey Google, set a timer for 8 minutes.
All right, 8 minutes, and we're starting now.
So I'm going to boil that for a little bit. You don't want the lasagna noodles to come out too soggy, too soft. So just for a few minutes. The recipe says 2 minutes. The box says 8. I'm going to follow the recipe. So for less than 2 minutes. How the hell? How do you do this? Oh no, this one broke. Oh no, I put a broken one in there. Oh my god, malfunction. How the hell? I am so confused. It's okay. The struggle of not having a bigger pot, but I've just been kind of like letting it sit in there for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna flip it. This is embarrassing. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm just gonna flip it like, this way. If it's too hot, use like a fork or something, but I'm just flipping it. So I'm still boiling the lasagna noodles. They're getting there. The pot's big enough for it to kind of just cook half the noodle, but it's kind of getting to the point where I want it to be. The recipe said 2 minutes. I set a timer for 8 minutes, but this looks like it's about to be done. I also forgot to mention that I added some salt to the noodles boiling, but I'm going to be taking these out in a second. Hey Google, how much time is left?
T-minus 1 minute and 1 second. 1
minute, so I should probably stop it. So I'll be taking it out now and draining it. And here, the noodles are just boiling right now. There's some salt in there with the water. But the alarm did just go off for me to take these out. So I'll be draining these now. I'll be using this. I use this to wash my rice, but I'll be using it also to drain my noodles. So I drained the noodles. What mine look like right now are kind of just like this, because they're gonna cook some more in the oven, so you don't want them to be too flimsy. So now that the noodles are boiled and drained, I'm going to move on to the next step. The recipe also says to add some oil to the noodles, like after draining them, so that they don't stick together. So I'm gonna do that right now. It's saying olive oil, but Google says that you can use canola oil to replace it, and that's what I have, so that's what I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna just pour some oil on the noodles.
Ready.
So the next step in making this lasagna, ground beef. I bought ground beef, 80% lean, 20% fat. I might have put too much oil in the pan. We'll see. So I'll be putting that in here. Remember, you guys, I'm doing this for the first time, so don't judge me. I put the beef on the pan, so it's cooking up a little bit. So what you want to do, you're going to cook it until it's all brown and whatnot.
Tell somebody, no say you got that body.
I cut my nail.
Maybe you can show me what you gonna do.
This is hard. Okay, so it started to smell pretty good, to be honest.
Jinx all night if you want to. Change your whole life for me gonna do. Make you feel nice for me gonna do.
Not too much. And then now I'm still mixing it in, breaking it up, making sure there's no red left. Looking good. Smelling good. It's just a 3.5 cups of mozzarella cheese, 15 ounce of ricotta cheese, and 1 egg. So this is combined. That looks combined to me. So now I'm going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to coat my dish in a little bit of oil. Okay, so this is the container that I'll be using.
Speed up. Say you're not treat man bad, true enough. But they too goddamn bad, beat up.
Then we're gonna spread 1 cup of tomato mixture onto the bottom. This is 9 by 13. So it's not the exact right size, but it'll do the job. So now we're going to use a cup of tomato mixture. So I'm gonna just use the same sauce that I used with the beef. So I'm just fill this up. That's 1 cup. At the bottom. Spread 1 cup of the mixture onto the bottom. Top with 3 lasagna noodles. Why would it be at the bottom? That don't make too much sense to me, but we're gonna try it. So now we're gonna go back and take our noodles. So we're gonna take them, I'm gonna take 3 of them, not 1. So my container isn't as big as it should be. I don't have a bigger container. Yeah, so the noodles are kind of overflowing a little bit. They're going up on the side. We're gonna see what that does. But we're just gonna put 3 noodles on the bottom. Just like this. Looking good. I definitely need bigger containers, bigger pots. Yeah, I need bigger pots, but I love the pots that I have. First layer. Oh, I'm going to also preheat the oven now to 350. So we're going to start using this mixture that we made, and we're going to place it into our container.
You know that I'm your favorite. Boy, I lightweight.
Okay, so I'm a little bit upset because it just stopped recording out of nowhere, but I have this. I used half of the ricotta mixture. I just split it in half and then put half of it here. So then I just used a spoon to like put it in there and then swivel it around, flattened it up, look cute. And now I'm going to go get some of the meat to put in there. I guess I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna just cut this in half and then I'll put half of the meat here.
To escape, why me, go cry you worry for. Wait, what on it?
Maybe next time, I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna try it first. But this looks like it might need a little bit more meat. This don't got enough meat in there for me. So now I'm just gonna repeat that same step a couple times.
To me, roll up in the low. Girl, I breathe me like GoPro. She want more money, more paper. Then come down to Jamaica. Then let me give you some flavor. Then girl, you sexy and you know that. Yeah, you my ex, you my throwback. Me no want a girl for give me beer, back chat. Prefer get a girl for send me beer, Snapchat. We can party on a Friday.
See, I need more meat. This isn't enough meat. So lasagna is done now, so I'm just gonna take it out of the oven. And voila! So this is what it came out to look like. I just threw some Parmesan and some parsley into it. I'm going to cut it up and serve myself. Just gonna cut it right here. Right here. So this is what it came out to look like. So I did realize that I put in a little bit too much oil in it, but that's okay. Now let's taste it. Of They came out good. It doesn't look the greatest, but hopefully it tastes good. And then I can also try this recipe again. Or not really. Maybe I'll stick to one recipe, we'll see. I like it. It's really good. Not the best lasagna I've had, but it's pretty good. Honestly, it's pretty good. It's really good. First time making lasagna. I'm gonna try this again. Hopefully the presentation is better. But and then I also had a couple technical difficulties. That's okay. One thing I forgot to mention is the recipe said 3 layers. I think I need bigger pots and pans, and this container too was a little bit too small. The noodles overflowed a little on the side, so I broke some of it off for like the second layer. I let the first layer do that because why not? Too small for 3 layers, but it still worked out perfectly fine and it still looks good. So some things that I would do differently next time, I would probably use, instead of a 1 pound of beef, I think I would use like 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds, because I think it could have used a little bit more. I mean, it was still really good though. Like, this was decent, but I need more meat. And then also a lot less oil, of course. But yeah, it was pretty good. I would give it 8.5 out of 10. That's my rating for my food. So I just wanted to thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you would like to see anything specific, you can comment down below and let me know what you would like to see. See you again next time.